Welcome to the Silicon Slopes Conversations. We're lucky to be joined by Jess Toolson, who is the founder and CEO of Mixhers. How are you?
I'm great. It's Friday. I love a good Friday.
It is Friday. Nice little spring
It's
day.
Friday, right? I feel
think
like I
so.
never know.
Thank you so much for joining us. Very cool story. A lot of billboards. I think people are seeing what you guys are doing, but let's jump in. The founding story. Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, first of all, I'm happy if you're seeing the billboards because they're expensive and hopefully they're worth it. Founding story. So I am a mother of 3. I have a son that's now 11 years old, and I have twin girls that are 8. When I was postpartum with my twin girls, they were about 2 years old when my menstrual cycle returned, but it returned with vengeance. And I had never had this experience with my health before, and so I felt like I was on this whole new health journey, and I was really frustrated. At the time, I was going back and forth from Europe. My husband played professional basketball in Europe for 10 months of the year, and then we'd come home to Utah for 2 months. So when I'd come home to Utah, I was trying really hard to find, because I spoke the language, some answers for my health struggles. And it was a long journey. I was struggling with things such as like really bad cramping, unfortunately really hard mood swings that I knew full well I was struggling with, and it was really, really hard for me to deal with. I also had like really, really bad hormonal acne on my face, and it was really cystic, and it was really embarrassing, honestly. And it was through a long bout of trying to find a solution, lots of doctor's appointments, lots of trying every remedy you could buy on the internet, spending thousands of dollars on facials and skincare lines, and just feeling so lost that I finally had a conversation. She's actually here, Cody Sanders. She's our co-founder. I had a conversation with Cody that I just completely broke down and just lost it. She was my personal trainer at the time. She's a holistic health practitioner and a certified nutritionist, and she was my personal trainer. So she recognized that I was wearing a full face of makeup every day when I'd go meet her to work out, and we just got having a personal conversation, and I just cried and told her, Cody, I'm so embarrassed. I feel awful. I feel moody. I feel crazy. I feel like I'm in pain. I feel like I'm not myself anymore. And Cody actually challenged me to try this herbal concoction that she was making in her home. And I'll be completely honest, this herbal approach, this holistic approach, wasn't something that I had been looking for or had tried. But I was at my wit's end, so I was willing to try anything. She was making these Chinese herbs in her kitchen, and she would put them in gel capsules. She told me, I know this is a different approach, but can you please try this for 3 months? And so I did, and in the first month, I was like, for sure that was the placebo. Like, my cramping was less, I felt less moody, and I'm like, there's no way that these weird little gel pills with herbs are doing anything, but I'll keep with it. And it was the second month that my cycle was a shorter amount of days. I felt like I had mood stability, and actually my acne barely came and went. It was very livable. In the third month, I actually experienced what women are supposed to be experiencing each and every month, which was a very normal cycle. Healthy. I didn't feel like I had mood swings. I didn't have cramping, didn't have bloating. I didn't even break out. It was just a sign of my cycle coming and going, which is a great sign of health. And so that's when I went to Cody, and I just said, I don't know, I have no idea what you put in these things. No idea. However, I do know these work. And I know that because of my personal journey, there are tons of other women that feel just as frustrated as I did. We have to make this a product that women have access to. So we set off on a really, really hard journey to learn manufacturing, learn flavoring, learn production and packaging and all the things to launch Mixhers. And we launched the very, very end of 2019.
Yeah. Well, that's quite the story. Yeah. That sounds miserable, and it sounds like the realization that something would work would be quite enlightening. So it sounds like kind of a kitchen R&D process.
We call Cody our Mixhers witch, and that's a compliment. We love that she was like with her witch's brew, like mixing up her concoction.
Yeah. Okay, so classic entrepreneurial story now, kitchen brews. The next question you'd start to ask would probably trigger 5,000 more questions. And it sounds like there's some science involved and some measuring and sourcing, so we can't get into all of that, but early days of R&D and early days of problem solving, what were those like?
Yeah, so Cody, previous to me, had spent years formulating this, concoction in her home and had taken all the time to, try it on her own daughter, try it on herself, recognize, what was improving, what wasn't improving. And so she had spent years perfecting this formula that she was using to help herself, her daughter, and the women in her life. And so years of effort went into our product, Her Time, which is now our top selling product, and it's like our hero product. But when we took that formula that Cody was making and putting into gel capsules, Cody's dream was that this would be a powder mixed into water so that your body could better absorb the nutrients. So that was when we really set off on a journey of how on earth do you add flavors to this disgusting tasting concoction? Because it was bad. It was like straight herbs. Even taking the pill, you'd be like, ooh, something's there. But so we set off learning manufacturing, and my word, it was brutal. Brutal. We went through quite a few different groups trying to work with a group that we could, they could improve upon our formula and then make it taste really good. And we landed on that group. However, we are proud to say that ever since we've launched, we have reformulated our products multiple times to just keep improving, because there's always room for improvement. I think it's just about being willing to keep, recognizing there's always room for improvement. And if you think it's perfect, you should probably actually revisit it.
Yeah. So anyone could probably make cookies for 6 people, right? But if you need to make cookies for 600 people, you have to do math, right? And so for you guys, finding these partners and not getting screwed over by them overpromising.
We've gotten screwed over.
I was imagining that. So as you guys have your product, kind of your baby, you're passionate about, what are the steps in manufacturing, distribution with trusted folks that you can still control the narrative?
Yeah, something that I personally really had to learn over this journey. It's been 2 years, and I think something that's really important for someone that's just starting their journey is that I didn't have all the right questions to ask. I didn't know what I was necessarily looking for. We landed with a group that made it all seem really easy, and that was how we started. However, it was then once I became more educated and started asking some of the right questions that I realized we have to make a change. We can't stay with this arrangement forever. We were scaling really quickly. And like you mentioned, we were seeing as we scale from making Her Time for, 900 people for over 20,000 people a month, there's a lot that goes into that to keep your product perfected for every single person. So we went through a huge manufacturing transition, which was the best thing we ever could have done. And I think I had to learn as an entrepreneur with 0 experience was that following my gut and my intuition leading me to be like, you may not know every answer, you may not have the right questions, but you do have the feeling to know that something's not adding up. And so following that was exactly what led us to unraveling enough information to be like, our business is no longer yours, and we are here with these trusted, awesome people.
Gotcha. All right, so you're figuring that out. Now you need people to buy it. And there's lots of ways to do that. But you probably need to explain what the product is, how it works, and then figure out like who your best target market is. So as you move into that phase, what was that like?
Yeah. So our very first product and what we launched with was Her Time. And honestly, we didn't know how to market it. All we knew is that we had social media platforms. Cody and I both had our own platforms, and we had Mixhers. And we knew that that was free, and all we could afford was free. So we just started talking about it on our own, and we started asking our friends and women in our life if we could send them our new product that we were really excited about. And it was really hard to get people to open up on their social media about such taboo topics. I mean, we were cracking it open with making women, or hoping women would talk about their periods on social media in front of thousands of people. So it took us a good 6 to 9 months to get people outside of our best friends to talk about Mixhers. And that was hard. It was really hard. We had to gain trust. We had to have people, like we had to wait for people to really use the product to feel the benefits, because they were like, I'm really nervous to talk about this, and I'll only talk about it if it really, really works, because this is embarrassing. Thankfully, we've seen a huge movement. Actually, it's now women are feeling empowered to use their social media platforms to talk about these taboo topics. They're feeling like they can be a part of the change in conversation. They're feeling like if I can open up, we utilize a lot of influencer marketing, but we've been able to have our influencers, which we're so grateful for, realize how many lives they're changing by letting women know about our products. So we have over 11 products. I always lose count. 11 products. And so we started with Her Time, and then we had so many requests, which was really fun to see women saying, I trust you so much with my health because Her Time has changed my life. Can you guys please develop a product for sleep or anxiety, or I don't eat well, I need greens. And so we've just really spent the last year developing every product that we had requests, not every product, but most of the consistent requests from our customers. And then we're not done. We have a few more products that we're working on.
All right, let's talk about that a little bit more. But one question first is, on average, how long does it take for women to see the results, feel the results?
Yeah, we always say that consistency is key. Mixhers, we specialize in nutritional therapy, which is not a Band-Aid approach. It's a long-term approach with long-term health benefits. So we recommend women using Her Time for 2 to 3 months for optimal results, and then they don't leave us. They love it.
Yeah. All right, so you have your first product and it's going well. I would be unnerved if somebody said, this is great and I want to sleep better. Can you guys make something from that? Because you spent all that time figuring out the formula to help with periods. What was the process like then for your second, third, fourth product? And how do you guys decide that this is a go or no-go?
We, for sure, were gathering as much customer information as possible, gathering the requests, using social media as a free tool to pull from our consumers. What products do you want to see? What are your health struggles? What would you like Mixhers to launch? And then actually the formulation process for us is thankfully really easy because Cody formulates in-house for us. It's the manufacturing part that takes the time to develop the products that stand by our mission, which is clean, natural, holistic ingredients, but then also flavoring them to still taste incredible without adding a bunch of fillers and garbage that ends up making it not healthy. So that is the part of the process that takes the most time. But it's also the funnest part of what we do. Launching a new product and like the hype that we build around like, we hear you. Like 80% of women requested this product. We've gone to work formulating this for you. It's the best feeling to see the energy and momentum of women being like, oh my gosh, Mixhers heard us. We're actually visible to this brand and they're caring to act on my requests. And that's what we really, really want women to feel, is because that's the truth. Yeah.
So this seems like a nice advantage that you guys have, that people give you ideas, and then you can go with them or not go with them. So as you're launching the new products, you're going to obviously have to start counting the money and figuring out margins, maintaining the distribution channels. I assume at some point you're going to need to start building out your team, maybe even some more mixer witches. And what was that like when you got to that point where we're like, all right, this is a big deal, need more help? How did you go about that?
I have our first ever employee here, Kara. So she was employee number 1 and was alone with Cody and I for like a year. And it's hilarious to look back now, because hiring Kara felt like she was with this is a huge no-no, but I did it anyway. She was with an agency, and I recognized her talent and her abilities. And I was like, she's not being properly utilized there. She belongs on our Mixhers team. And hey, I went against the rules. And I finally got Kara over on our Mixhers team as our first ever employee. And it made all the difference to have someone in it, knowing actually how to market the product appropriately, how to make website changes, how to run a social media account and create content. She wore every single hat, and Cody and I really got to focus on vision, purpose, feeling, products, manufacturing. That was kind of our divide. And really quickly, after that year, we saw, in 2020, we did total about $800,000 in sales. In 2021, just in the very first quarter, we had already doubled that. And so we saw really quickly that Kara needed a team, and so did all of us. And so we started hiring. We hired out social media, and then we had some contracted help that we brought in-house and added them to our team. But something that I have learned is that I have no experience managing people. I've never, to be honest, I've never had a job before Mixhers. I taught some dance classes in high school, and then I left to support my husband in Europe. So I'm learning on the fly how to add to a team, how to manage different personalities, how to create company culture, how to watch that the team is being as effective as possible. Something I recognize is that when we're growing this fast and we want to maintain this growth, my responsibility is to maintain company culture and kindness. And if I can be stability for the team and that safe space and the person that is cool, calm, and collected, the team rallies and they want to get behind the mission and what we're doing really easily. In the last year, we have hired, 15 people. We're a team of 21 now. And I think this year we'll probably be up to 35.
Very cool. So you're literally building the entire ship as you sell it. Okay.
And we're trying to hire really effectively. Sometimes we recognize we go too long waiting for a hire, and it's become way too much of a pain point, but we're trying to not scale our team so fast that we drain the company. So it's just, we're trying.
Yeah. Tough to do, easy to talk about, but what would you define the culture as?
I think that the best feedback I get from people that come and are around our team is just how kind and warm our whole team is. Also, we're really, really fun. People are like, it's really fun to be around you because I see on social media, we all know social media isn't always the truth behind the scenes, but one of the things I'm the most proud of is that what you see on social media is what you get behind Mixhers. We have a team of 21 women that are kind, they're encouraging, they rally behind each other, they want to see each other succeed, and we also have a lot of fun. Fun matters. If it's not fun, I don't want to keep doing this, is what I always say, and we're having fun.
Yeah, sounds like you are. 21 women, Exclusively
We have
women.
one Mixhers man.
Okay.
That was a big deal. One Mixhers man, and he's our supply chain manager. And he wears a Mixhers hat every day, everywhere he goes. He's killing it.
Very cool. All right. So, of all of the products, which one, you've mentioned your favorite, but which ones sell the best, and which ones were you surprised at their success?
So Her Time does sell the most. Her Time is the product that we're usually discovered by, or Her Greens. Her Greens is a top seller. It's just a really easy product for women to wrap their head around, and it's delicious. A product that is really, really fun that Mixhers, you've probably, maybe, seen the billboards for, is our product Her Love. It helps women with low libido. It helps to regulate hormones in conjunction with Her Time. And our biggest goal with Her Love is to help women realize that there's nothing actually wrong with them. There's a hormone imbalance which is causing the low libido, which we can help support. There's a lot of guilt and shame for women around their sex drive, and Mixhers, our goal is to just rip that whole narrative apart and say there's a reason why you're struggling with this. It's a health issue, and we can help support this. And we actually were told by previous manufacturers that they didn't want to manufacture the product. They thought it was a terrible idea. They thought that there was no way Mixhers could do it in a classy way. And we pushed through and stood by the idea. And that product launch crashed our website like 9 times in the first hour. And it's also one of our top selling products, and it works.
Very cool. There might be some husbands that buy that one, I would imagine.
Girls can buy it for themselves.
True. So are there any that you guys were all happy and very excited about that just didn't work out? And if so, what do you guys do then?
Yeah, we launched a whole line called Her Teen. And we were like, this is so great because we have so many moms that use our products, and they're like, oh my gosh, what should my teens use? And we're like, oh, this will be so great to create a whole teen line that just is like everything a teenager needs. It's fun, it's cool, she can throw it in her backpack. We launched it, and we recognized all it did was confuse moms. They were like, wait, so should she be using Her Time and Her Teen? What's the difference? And we were like, okay, actually, honest truth, we made the mistake. There was actually no reason that we needed Her Teen other than us being like, oh, teens are fun, let's launch a teen line. But we quickly, I think we had that line for like 6 months, maybe, and we just eliminated the SKU. We were like, the much easier thing for moms to do is buy their teens Her Time daily, and we just had to quickly eliminate it. Hey, we made the mistake.
Yeah, you make a mistake, get rid of it quickly. And so as you progress, build out your team, build out your product line, is there any fear of regulation, or is that something you guys don't need to worry about?
Like regulation of supplements?
FDA or any?
So the supplement industry, it's not, our products don't have to be FDA approved. We just have to make sure that's on our label. We do everything we possibly can to be completely compliant, and if someone comes and knocks on our door, we're ready. That's the best we can do.
Gotcha.
It is an interesting industry.
Yeah, I can imagine, and you don't want any bad players in it because it makes it harder for everyone else. And where do the ingredients come from across planet Earth?
Oh, all over the world. All over the world. The supply chain is wild for our ingredients, especially for the ingredients in Her Time.
And has that been fun the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think we can call it fun. It's been interesting as we've been scaling so quickly, and also trying to source, like we have standards of where and what we will source from. So that's definitely been a challenge, but we've learned, through the right manufacturing partners, amount of raw materials to be sitting on, and we've tried to do our best to see it through.
And do you use the partners to verify that these are good suppliers, or do you guys go out and visit?
So yeah, we have relationships with our suppliers that they have all of our ingredients come in with certain testing, certain standards for us to even bring it into the facility. So. Gotcha.
All right, you have 2 buttons on your website, the community and rewards. I assume there was some good thought that went into that, and I can kind of picture like the benefits of both of those, but go into both of those, how they work, how they impact your business, and how your customers enjoy them.
Yeah, community honestly came from me having a personal passion for the women that are feeling really lonely in their health journey, in their motherhood journey, in just all different phases of life. And so I recognized that when I was going through that health journey previous to her time, how much I was just needing support from women and women that related to me and are like, hey, I'm lost too, or like, try this, I tried this, I don't know if it'll help you, but like, I'm here for you. And we realized through Mixhers, we took a poll one time, 70% of women answered that they don't feel they have even one friend. And so that was a sign to us that we needed to create friendships for women. And so we have really focused on creating a safe space for women to communicate off of social media. And they have a hub. They can have conversations about, hey, I'm struggling with postpartum depression. I have no one to turn to. Has anyone been through this? What are your recommendations? And it's a safe hub for women that can become friends through our Mixhers platform in the community. We also invest a lot of time, energy, and money into building these relationships with our community through community events. It's really fun to have women plan to meet up for the first time ever at a Mixhers event and create an in real life relationship because they've become friends on a platform, and then it's like Mixhers provides the space for them to like meet up for the first time. That's really, really fun and really fulfilling for me to see. Then the rewards program came actually from the community. So we recognize that within our community of thousands of women, they're also our most loyal customers. They're the ones that are spreading the word. They're not influencers. They have an influence in their day-to-day life, but they're not our like influencer community. So we reward them for sharing products. We reward them for purchasing a certain amount of times. We send them free gifts and swag. And so it was like the rewards program was our way of like, thank you for being part of our community, but also thank you for spending your money with us because we know how many other supplement brands there are out there. We feel we do it very uniquely and that we're different from most other supplement brands, but we recognize they have other places to spend their money, so we want to make sure that they are rewarded for spending with us.
Very cool. Well, we'll open it up to questions from the audience in a few minutes, so don't be shy, get them ready. And it's interesting because there's big companies that spend millions and millions of dollars on trying to figure out brand and community, and it seems like you guys have figured it out just intuitively. And it seems like you've come from a position of like kindness and being inclusive and being helpful. There's probably a lot of money wasted on consultants and case studies if they just kind of would look at your guys' website. Seems like that would work pretty well.
That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Of course. So you started marketing to friends and influencers, mentioned billboards. As things continue to scale and grow, you're going to need to go into new markets. So what's your guys' strategy overall over the next year and getting more folks using the product and knowing about it?
Yeah, so we recognize and we actually love that we are a Utah-based company because it's been such a fun place for me to start a company, and I've felt like Utah has really rallied behind our brand, which has been fun. A strategy that we've implemented within the last 4 months is that we are actually responding to our heat map of our purchases. So we saw on our heat map that Arizona is a second top selling state behind Utah. So we decided, hey, let's go and actually answer to that heat map and let's go show up, let's show some love, let's rally our community. So we went and we're calling them blitz trips. So we went to Arizona. We hosted about 700 women at a Mixhers event. It was one of the scariest things we've done because it took us outside of our comfort zone, going to a new place and hoping people show up. But about 700 women showed up then, and it was incredible. Then we hosted an influencer event where we had about, 75 influencers come in Arizona. And what we recognized is that those blitz trips, we leave, and within a week. That market has rapidly expanded, so we copied and pasted that same idea, and we did it in Atlanta, and we did it in New York City, and we did it in Las Vegas. And within that month, those 3 states were our top performing states. So we're going to continue these blitz trips. It's not, people tell me all the time that's not scalable. It's scalable for now. I can travel. I can do that as much as I want right now, and it's working. We also, to continue growing Mixhers, we are expanding into a new channel. We're going to be entering retail. We just closed Harmon's, we closed Down East, we're working on Target and Walmart, and we recognize the mass amount of women that are stepping foot into big box stores every single day, and we want to be there for the woman that isn't an active social media user. She needs Mixhers products as well, so we want to be everywhere that a woman is shopping.
Very cool. So that'll be pretty exciting for you and your team to be at Harmon's and see it on the shelf.
Exciting and a lot of work.
I can imagine.
It's a whole new world. D2C is entirely different, but we're excited.
A little bit more bureaucratic, red tape, new acronyms, a lot of that. Very cool. Any interest in raising money? What is your guys' kind of forecast there?
So we actually we're really, really excited about it. We just brought in a strategic partner just about a month ago. We've partnered with Tamarack, and so they are really opening up that retail channel for us and accelerating that growth for us a lot faster than what I can do on my own and with our own team. So our focus will be to keep our team of 21 really like lasered in on D2C growth and community and loyalty and subscribers, because the biggest value to Mixhers is our subscriber database. So we will keep our focus on that while we tap Mixhers into the Maloof resources, and they're opening doors for retail. We're excited.
I think Sam and Casey know a little bit about doing that, so great partnership there.
Sam Maloof uses her time every day.
Really?
Yep. Every day. And they just put it on tap up there in their lunchrooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a question a bunch of people said I should ask you, and I'm like, no. Mix hymns.
I have the domain Mixhers.
Okay.
It's coming. When
There
I
you
can
go.
think for a second.
Right.
It'll come, but not anytime in the next year.
Okay. All right. Let's open it up for questions from the audience. We have a microphone that'll roam around.
So you're developing a new product, and it maybe doesn't taste that great yet. How do you go to someone, you want to test it out, and you have this awkward conversation, hey, this might not be that good, but we want you to try it for 2 months. How does that go, and how do you work through that in product development?
It's actually really funny to us now because we feel like we launched with like a subpar product. Like Her Time, the very first version, was not that good. So we were pushing a lot on stick with it. It's worth it for the health. Chug it back, throw it back. And we were honest about why it didn't taste good. We explained to people what is in it and what are the health benefits and why you're going to want this in your body and the benefits of using this long term. Thankfully, women actually really, really, really felt the benefits, even with it not tasting great. But we recognized, we're like, gosh, the amount of people that will want to drink this if it tastes good and will look forward to it would be much easier than us trying to really convince people of how much they should drink this. So it was hard. I think through education, that was what made people actually commit to using the product, even when it didn't taste great. And then we actually really did see through being honest with our consumers and saying hey, we're at work improving this formula, same great ingredients, improved flavor. People were so grateful that we were recognizing we had improvements to make, but they were grateful for the health benefits. So I think education and being honest is what had people using our product even before it was that good. Now it's really good.
My question is, so your influencer strategy is pretty impressive. Do you handpick your influencers, or do you use a platform to organize them?
Yeah, so we feel that, I mean, we do have a threshold of what we consider to be an influencer versus a Mixhers ambassador. We take really great care of both. But our influencers, our threshold is 10,000 plus. We don't handpick. If someone wants to work with us and they have over 10,000 followers, they can absolutely join our affiliate program. Something that I am really, really passionate about is that we do not pay influencers to work with us up front. If they want to open up and share about the incredible health benefits of Mixhers and how it has improved their life, and they want to share organically and they want to share code, we pay commission based off of their sales. What we recognize is that the sharing is completely different. When a woman is just grabbing her phone without any strings attached, without a contract in place, without a date that she has to post by, the content is completely different. The consumer watching it feels really, it's like a lot more relatable. And so the response is much better. And women, once they work, a lot of influencers tell us originally, like, oh, sorry, I only do paid per post. However, then they see their best friends working with us and doing the commission structure, so they come back around. And influencers make a lot of money selling Mixhers once they can wrap their head around the commission structure. And they have a software that tracks all of their sales, use of code, payment. And so, but it's a lot of very, very manual work from my team, and it's some of our best spent time managing these relationships, creating real friendships with our influencers. It's a lot of my time. We hosted an influencer gala last week that had about 225 influencers at our gala, and the constant feedback is that we're a brand that actually takes good care of them and actually recognizes them as a human and as a mom and as a woman, and so that's why they keep working with us. So that's something we really insist we stick true to.
Hi, can you expand on your distribution strategy long term? You're doing D2C and then now expanding in retail with Maloof. Are you solely in the US, and have you thought about international? And if so, what countries, what sort of timeline are you looking at?
Yeah, so just last month, we launched into Canada. We had been getting requests about Canada, probably 20 requests a day. And so we went to work. It was a ton of work launching into Canada just because of the different health codes and health department requirements and things like that. But we are in Canada and selling, and we have seen a great response to that. We would love to be in Australia. We would love to be in areas of Europe. Through my experience living in Europe, I recognize that the response to holistic health is people are a lot more open to it in Europe. They're already using a lot of holistic health approaches, so we think that putting Mixhers into the European market, we would see a great response. We're just trying to make sure we open up on a timeline that makes best sense for us.
So you guys are starting from scratch, right? Well, not now, but you were, and so you were making stuff in your kitchen. As far as funding goes, did you guys do most of this bootstrap kind of out of your own pocket in the beginning, or did you have to ask get fundraising, angel investors, stuff like that?
We completely bootstrapped Mixhers. And it was terrifying for me to put $40,000 into a company that I had no idea if I'd ever see that money again. I decided to take the chance, and I felt really passionate about what we were doing. Thankfully, we were very, very quickly profitable, which is shocking for most startups, but I feel really grateful for that. And so actually we've been bootstrapped this entire time, and we actually didn't, to be transparent, we didn't just need funding when we partnered with Tamarack. It was much more of a strategic partnership for us to accomplish what the vision is on the timeline that we want. And so while funding is very helpful, it's about the integration, the team, the support, and the faster pace that helped us make our decision.
Maybe one more, I think, right there was the next one in line. Yeah.
I think sometimes when you have a brand new startup and you see the success story, by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, wow, just bloomed and it was like magic. But I think like I'm curious, that beginning, like from kitchen to you trying it out to getting it on the shelf to getting traction and feeling like maybe like the bear wasn't chasing
I
you
feel
behind
tired
you.
just remembering it.
How, like, what did that time look like? It's not like just instantaneous. It's so much work and so much thought and research. Like, what does that time frame or did it look like for Mixhers?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So Cody actually helped me in 2017 with these gel capsules. And so we didn't even have a product in hand and didn't launch until Q4 of 2019. Then something I want to make sure I bring up is 2019, Mixhers sat with like a social media following of a couple hundred people and sales of like between $5,000 and $10,000 a month for 9 months. And so I just really want people to understand and know in that very beginning phase, like the amount of times we wanted to give up and we're like, what on earth are we even doing? Every day, every single day. But it was about waking up, getting one customer that was like, I have endometriosis, and this has changed my life. And I can take care of my kids right now, that we're like, okay, there's no way we're giving up. But there's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of pep talks that have gone into building Mixhers, and that's something I try to be really transparent about, because on the outside, Mixhers just looks very fun and vibrant and bubbly and growth. And it's been really, really hard and fun. And I've cried a lot.
Well, thank you so much, Jess, for sharing your story. It's been very fun, and there's some samples over there. It sounds like looks like a lot of people
I don't
are
want to take
sampling.
any home. I have plenty at home, so make sure you take them all.
Yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for your time. Appreciate it.